Welcome. In this video, we will analyze when will ZBCN coin start to rise. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and please watch to the end to understand. A careful examination of the chart reveals a downtrend structure that is just beginning to form on the price action. This new downtrend line gives a certain direction to the price's recent movements and acts as a ceiling. The price has touched this falling trend line several times, making upward moves. However, each time it has retreated back from this line, indicating that the trend is working as a strong resistance point for now. Especially in such downtrend structures, each contact of the price is critical, because each contact erodes the previous selling pressure a little more and signals that buyers are gaining strength. It's a similar situation at the moment. The price has been attacking above this downtrend for several times, but has yet to make a permanent breakout. This shows that the balance of power in the market is still not completely in favor of buyers. However, it should be noted that such downtrends do not continue indefinitely. Especially if the price starts to touch this falling trend line frequently, the expectation is that this line will weaken over time, and eventually an upside breakout will occur. The current contacts may be giving us the first signals of this weakening. Therefore, it is critical for the price to break this newly formed downtrend. If the price manages to break above this trend line with a strong candle, this could trigger a major technical shift. First of all, this breakout indicates that the selling pressure is over, and buyers are now in control of the market. Also, such breakouts are usually supported by an increase in volume, which contributes to the permanence of the move. After a trend breakout, it is possible to see that the price quickly moves towards the upper resistance zones, because there is a well-known rule in technical analysis. When resistance breaks, resistance becomes support. So if this falling trend line, which is currently working as resistance, breaks, it could act as a strong support for the price going forward. This would make bullish movements even healthier and more permanent. The path of the price after the breakout is also important. Usually, when downtrends are broken, the price is expected to retest back to the broken line for a short period of time. If the price stays above the line during this retest, this provides a second buying opportunity for traders and an important confirmation that the uptrend will continue. To summarize, the new falling trend line that is currently forming on the chart seems to be the most important obstacle for the price. This line has been worn down by repeated contacts, and each new contact makes it more likely that the trend will break. If the price manages to break this trend upwards in the coming days, it has the potential to start a much stronger and sustainable upward movement in the market. But we need to look not only at trends, but also at other metrics. Stay tuned. When we closely examine the chart, we see that a rather remarkable pattern is forming. Looking at the structure that is currently forming, we see an inverse shoulder head and shoulders pattern, which is one of the classic technical analysis patterns, and is usually effective during trend reversals. This pattern is considered by traders to be a highly reliable reversal signal, especially when downtrends are ending and an uptrend is preparing to begin. In the current situation, price action has formed three key components of the pattern. First, a left shoulder formed, followed by the head as the price moved slightly lower. Currently, the price is in the process of building the right shoulder. During the formation of the right shoulder, if the price makes a less deep decline and holds at a certain support level, it is an important sign that the pattern is forming in a healthy way. Especially in H and S patterns, the head represents the lowest point, while the two shoulders are formed close to each other. This symmetry increases the reliability of the pattern. The fact that the price is currently experiencing a less deep retracement while making the right shoulder indicates that buyers are now stronger and selling pressure is weakening. However, the most critical level for the completion and activation of an H and S pattern is the upside break of the so-called neckline. The neckline is a horizontal or slightly sloping line connecting the tops of the left shoulder and the right shoulder. If the price breaks above this neckline with a strong candle and holds above it, the pattern is officially confirmed, which means a strong bullish signal. The targeting method for H and S patterns is quite clear. The minimum target where the price is expected to go after breaking the neckline indicates an upward distance equal to the depth of the head. That is, an upward movement from the head to the neckline is calculated as the target of the pattern. In the current structure, when the distance between the neckline and the head area is measured, there is a considerable upside potential. If the price completes the right shoulder in a healthy way and then breaks the neckline in volume, we can say that the expected upward movement can start quickly. Moreover, such patterns usually witness sudden and sharp rises after the breakout occurs. This is because the moment of the breakout marks a period when the selling pressure completely disappears and buyers take control. especially in strong reversal patterns such as H and S. The increased trading volume during the breakout is an extremely critical indicator for the persistence of the move. In other words, not only the break of the neckline, but also whether this breakout is supported by volume should be carefully monitored. As a result, this reverse shoulder-head-shoulder pattern, which is clearly forming on the chart, indicates that there may be a serious bullish potential on the price in the coming days. With the completion of the right shoulder and the break of the neckline, we may see much higher pricing in line with the pattern target. As of now, it is very important to patiently monitor the movements of the price and confirm the breakout. This pattern should be followed. When we take an in-depth look at the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, we see a rather remarkable structure. In particular, in line with recent price action, there is a clear downward trend line on the RSI. This bearish trend is an important signal that the momentum in the market is weakening and buyers are losing strength. In technical analysis, such downtrends usually lead to downward pressure on the price charts. In the current situation, however, the RSI has touched this trend line several times and has met resistance each time. Especially from a technical analysis point of view, such frequent contacts provide us with important information. Each new contact indicates that this downtrend is weakening and the probability of a breakout is increasing. Because the more often a line of resistance is tested in the market, the more likely it is that the barrier will wear down over time and the price or the indicator will break through it and climb higher. At the moment, the RSI is very close to this falling trend line and seems to be preparing for a new breakout attempt. At this point, the RSI breaking this downtrend will be an extremely critical threshold, because such a breakout in the RSI usually leads to a trend change in the price. So, if the RSI breaks to the upside, it will not only signal a strengthening in momentum, but it will also be a strong signal on the price chart for the downtrend to end and the uptrend to begin. In short, the RSI breaking above the falling trend line will have a direct positive impact on price action. In addition, a breakout of the RSI would be a clear indication that the buyers in the market are starting to regain control. This signals that the market psychology has changed. Sellers are losing their power, and buyers are taking the initiative. Usually after such periods, we can see fast and strong price rallies. Especially if the RSI breakout is supported by a bullish price action, the bullish persistence will be much more solid. From a broader perspective, the RSI indicator breaking this downtrend could be a leading signal that the market is gaining strength, not only in the short term, but also in the medium and long term. This is because the trend changes in the RSI are usually synchronized with the changes in the major trends on the price chart. So this potential breakout we're currently observing could be the first step of a trend reversal. At the same time, if the downtrend on the RSI breaks, it could make it easier for the price to break through resistance levels that it has failed to cross before. With a breakout of the RSI, investors' risk appetite will increase and new purchases will enter the market. This could trigger not just a small rise, but perhaps the start of a new bull trend. In conclusion, this downtrend structure in the RSI is an important representative of the current market pressure. However, it is important to keep in mind that the probability of a breakout is getting stronger every day. All eyes are now on the RSI's next move to this critical trend line. If the RSI breaks above this line with a strong candle close and this breakout is supported by volume, it will open the way for a huge bullish potential. Therefore, it is necessary to follow the movements of the RSI very carefully in the coming days, because this breakout could be the beginning of the long-awaited big price moves. Yes, friends, I hope you liked the video. If you subscribe to my channel and like the video, more videos will be coming. Be careful in your investments, analyze the risks correctly, and always take strategic steps. I will be with you with different analyses, investment opportunities, and technical information in my videos. I wish you all a lot of profit. See you soon.